Martin Palmer is the Secretary-General of the Alliance of Religions and Conservation, an organisation which helps the major religions of the world develop their own environmental programmes.
I was brought up, in fact, not far from here on a huge housing estate on the outskirts of Bristol, and there was no nature there. I mean, the housing estate had literally wiped out everything apart from one tree, one huge oak tree. And my mother taught me to respect that tree and to respect what remained of nature there and to begin to seek to protect what was under threat, particularly in the 60s and 70s, which was just any sense that nature had any rights, any role other than simply to be convenient for us. And then I did theology, and that drew me into questioning really, particularly the Western Protestant tradition. What is the rest of creation here for? Is it just a backdrop? Or is it actually the reason for life on Earth? And if God created everything, then what is our relationship to it?
But God gave us dominion, so surely we're in charge.
This is one of the great myths. That story in Genesis is one of the last things that's written in the Old Testament, written probably around about 500 BC. And what the author does, and he or she is brilliant at this, is takes an existing story, a Babylonian story, which had been around for a couple of thousand years, in which we were just puppets. The gods sort of treated us like little playthings. And what Genesis does is it says, no, actually, we're partners with God. We are why creation happened, and gives us free will, a central role in the whole of creation and nature, and therefore a central role in God's love. It's fantastic. It liberates human beings from being the playthings of the gods, and instead we have this power, this authority. But I think we now need to tell a different version of the Genesis story, because we've forgotten that this was about empowering us. And we think, therefore, that the whole of creation, all this, was created for us. What a lot of nonsense. Because you've only got to read something like Job 38:39, where God does this wonderful thing. He says, where were you when I laid the foundations of the earth? Do you know how the hind gives birth? Have you ever seen the deer run across the mountaintop? It's this fantastic celebration that God loves the whole of creation. And we're part of that love, but we're not the reason why the world was created. We have got to decide that we are going to live more gently. We are going to tread more gently upon this earth for the very simple reason that it is sacred.